My name is Justin Aiken, and I teach at Campbell Collegiate here in Regina. I think it's very different for each class. Grade 12s, obviously, the feedback looks a little bit different than grade 9s, especially if they're supported students. Supported students, just for background on that, are those that have typically or have been identified as learners who are struggling just sort of with academic. And so there's a lower number of students in the class traditionally with sort of funneling the students that need that extra support into the room. So we're generally dealing with students that have autism or visual impairments, ADHD, emotional behavioral disorders, the whole range, the whole gamut. But something that I found really valuable with them is understanding their home life and maybe not having the supports in place that all students would have. I would give them I'd give them practice questions, and we'd go through that as a group on the projector, like how many questions or how many marks do you think this is out of, what might I take marks off, that kind of thing. And then they get a quiz. On that quiz, it's always testing 2 concepts. So I try and chunk them really small so that each topic that we cover is assessed at the completion, but each quiz focused or featured on 2 things at once. So one would be formative, and I give them all the feedback that I could on that, and then they would have a summative one, and then on the next piece of assessment, whatever was formative becomes summative, and then keep on repeating that throughout the unit. So most of my feedback in my science classrooms just comes from having informal conversations about why students got the marks that they did, or just written feedback. I try and go over it and make sure that I know what's going on, just because I like correcting and knowing where people are at, so I can kind of get them with targeted interventions. But yeah, that's kind of the way I operate, at least.